Jordan averaged 50.
You believe Jordan would average 50?
Jordan would have averaged 45, 50.
If Michael played today,
Yeah.
he'd probably average almost 50 a game.
And Michael, if Michael played in this era, he'll average 50.
Around, Howard throws it up over his.
Get it to Jordan.
What if I told you all of that sounds reasonable, but it's missing one thing? It's not the defense. It's not the spacing. It's not the three-point shooting. It's math. As the great MC formerly known as Mos Def Yassine Bey would say, it's all mathematics. Because when people talk about Michael Jordan averaging 50 points per game, they're thinking about how the game looks, not how the numbers actually work. The argument is pretty straightforward. Today's NBA has more spacing, more three-point shooting, and less physical defense. So the thinking is, if Jordan was already scoring over 30 points a game in his era, he would naturally score a lot more. And at the surface level, that actually makes a lot of sense. There's more space, fewer bodies in the paint, more one-on-one opportunities. All of that would benefit a player like Jordan. But that still doesn't explain 50 points per game. To understand why, you have to start with pace, which is simply how many possessions happen in a game. Jordan's era, late 80s, early 90s, was already playing at a 98 to 100 possessions per game. Today's NBA, it's around 100 to 102. So yes, it is slightly faster, but not enough to explain a jump from mid-30s to 50s. So if the game isn't dramatically faster, where are the extra 15, 20 points supposed to come from? Next is shot volume. Because scoring isn't just about skill, it's about opportunity. And this is where things start to shift. Older eras had more mid-range shots, more two-point attempts, and in some cases, more raw shot volumes. Today's game is different. Teams take more threes, which increases efficiency, but not necessarily total shot opportunities for one player. So yes, players can score more efficiently today, but they're not just getting unlimited extra shots. And we don't have to guess what's possible. We can look at the actual high volume scoring seasons. Kobe Bryant in 2006 averaged 35.4 points per game. He took around 27 shots per game and got to the line about 10 times. That's extremely high scoring load. And even then, he peaked at 35. Keep in mind, this was the season where he got 81 points. Let's look at another season. There's James Harden in 2019. Now, this is more modern basketball at its most optimized. Spacing, three-point shooting, free throws. Harden was taking 13 threes a game and getting to the line over 10 times. And even with all that, he averaged 36 points. Yes, 36 points. Not 40, not 45, 36. Now let's look at one of Jordan's most prolific scoring seasons. In 1987, he averaged an astounding 37.1 points per game, around 28 shots, 11 free throw attempts. This was one of the highest scoring seasons ever, and even here, he's at 37. And then there's Wilt Chamberlain, 1962. 50.4 points per game, but is where context matters. The pace was extreme. The number of possessions was much higher, and he was playing nearly every minute. That's the only time 50 has ever happened. And it wasn't just about talent. It was about the environment. So now let's actually do the math. To get to 50 points per game, you would need a combination of threes, free throws, and twos. Let's say 8 3-point attempts at 38%. That's about 9 points. Let's say 12 free throw attempts. And let's say about 10 more. So now we're at 19 points. That means you still need around 30 more points from 2-point shots. That's about 15 made field goals inside the arc, which requires roughly 27 attempts. So now you're looking at around 35 shot attempts per game. Every single night. At that level, it's no longer just about how great the player is, it's about how the offense functions. Because if one player is taking that many shots, everyone else is taking fewer. The offense becomes more predictable and more concentrated, and over time, easier to defend. And that's another factor that gets overlooked. Today's game may be less physical, but it's more demanding in a different way. Defenders are covering more space, closing out to shooters, rotating consistently, and reacting to movement on every possession. That requires energy. And if a player is carrying that kind of offensive load while also playing high-level defense, something has to give. And that brings it back to Jordan. He wasn't just a scorer. He was a two-way player, a defender, a competitor, someone who controlled the game on both ends. This isn't really a question of how good he was. It's a question of what the game actually allows. So when people ask Jordan would average 50 points in today's NBA, they're not wrong to think he'd score more efficiently or dominate in space, but 50 points per game requires a level of volume that doesn't really align with how the game works. So the real question isn't whether Jordan would average 50 today. It's this. What would he average in the 1960s? Because that's a completely different game. Thanks for watching. Subscribe.